Good morning. It was a cool, grey and cloudy day. It is Thursday the 20th of July and I've got a nice hot cup of tea and a package to unbox. So what I've got in here, I've already done an unboxing of the whole package. What I've got in here is releases for DCC Day. Some from the past years, some from this year, but the ones I'm going to do today is for Dungeon Crawl class DCC Day 2023, which takes place on Saturday, the 22nd of July. So I'm going to preview those today and tomorrow. So I'm going to start off with Dungeon Crawl Classics Adventure Pack for DCC Day 2023. 2 brand new adventures inside. So you've got this split kind of cover to highlight the fact you've got 2 adventures in here. You have the DCC Day shield down there, and on the back it says free. So Dungeon Crawl Classics Adventure Pack DCC Day 2023. Evil originates in many places, growing in the darkness or spawned on distant worlds. It creeps forth to consume lives and threaten all of creation unless bold heroes stand in its path. Do you have what it takes to stop these threats before they consume you, body and soul? The DCC Day 23 Adventure Pack contains 2 adventures for the Dungeon Crawl Classics role-playing game, each certain to provide entertainment and danger for 1 or more game sessions. First, the winner of the 2022 Mystery Map Contest, The Rift of Seeping Night, challenges first-level player characters with the demonic evil crawling out of the darkness and threatening to plunge the world into eternal night. Then, Grave of the Gearwright pits a second-level party against moon monstrosities come down from the night sky to claim the miraculous machinery forged by the mysterious Gearwright. Will the party survive when magic and machine collide in a murderous merging? Prepare to experience all the adventure DCC Day 2023 has to offer. So what we've got inside is 2 adventures, a nice bit of artwork for, to preview the pair. And we begin with the Rift of Seeping Night, which is the winner of the 2022 Mystery Map Contest. And we've got notes here on sundial statues and solar orbs. Now, this adventure really is set within the confines of a mountain where, but sort of like below the city of Slumbering, which is noted for its solar worshippers. But unfortunately, the days have been getting shorter, the nights longer, and which threatens their way of life, even crops. So the city druids ask the player characters to investigate and essentially the sanctuary of a wizard who previously ensured that the sun would shine for the correct length of time. So this is the solar outpost of the wizard Baltelhume. And this is the map for it. And okay, let me just show you that. So it's a relatively few number of locations, and you start down here. You have to find your way into the complex, and ultimately, what you're trying to do is get through to the centre here, but that involves attempting to find the routes through there, and through there to get to this area here at the top. And undo the problems which Baltelhume has left behind. And this is primarily a puzzle dungeon. There's lots of sort of like lots of traps and puzzles for the player characters to overcome, and essentially unlock the routes that they need to take before they can take that third one. And then so you have really the sort of like three areas in the summit. Area 1, the solar outpost of Baltafume, which is this area here, and then the second area is the night caverns of Glomonox. Which is the area here. So you've got night and day here, separating it, and some fantastic artwork from I think it's Jamie Schultis there. It's just say so at the end. Jason Schultis, who is responsible for Operation Unfathomable, which is a really fantastic scenario and setting, which has been done from the Hydra Cooperative for Dungeon Crawl Classics. And of course, beyond that, you have Evil Mushroom Men, and you also have handouts and clues, like encounters there with these strange robed statues with these circular holes in their chests, and you can see sort of like just some arrows there, and these sort of line up with this, and it's all part of the clues to solve the puzzles in the scenario. So that's the level 1 adventure in the DCC Day 23 adventure pack. Then we get on to the level 2 one, which is Cave of the Gearwright. Now this is an interesting one because it's actually inspired by Goodman Games' Dragon Mech setting, which came out in the 20noughties, in the noughties, and was a fantasy take upon the mecha genre, with dwarves building great iron and stone mecha that would pound across the landscape, fighting dragons and fighting other mecha, but would also actually form whole communities, whole societies within each mecha. Now you don't quite have any. One of the disappointments perhaps for the scenarios I know is that you don't actually have any mecha that the player characters can operate in the scenario. But what's happening is that the Gearwright, alia Coppermantle, has not been heard of, so the player characters are tasked with going and finding out what's happened to her in Coppermantle's tower. And you can see that here you've got the 2-stage map. It's essentially almost like a lighthouse, but you've got the tower, very plain and simple. You can see the inside of it all the way up there, and you've got these dials at the front there to basically it's the locking mechanism. It's sort of a bit of a small puzzle to get in, and here there you have the tentacular lunar threat, and then so this section here is that bit on the map, and then you've got this bit here which is mapped out over the page, which is this. So you have so that's the bottom of the tower there, and then you've got these areas, essentially the other locations where the dwarves are basically forging items and building them. So you've got a different engineering slant in this scenario, and so there's much more of a technical feel to it in terms of dungeon, along with sort of like the possessive invaders from the moon, and hopefully the player characters will encounter this character, and she will be able to reveal some secrets before there is a giant battle in this location. I'll show you that, see if you can see that. There's actually a mecha in there, and the player characters actually have to battle for possession of that mecha. The battle takes all over the mecha as they confront the the lunar forces, the lunar invaders in the workshop. So yeah, this is essentially it's not actually a mecha. It's called a Selenic Walker, and everything in there is basically being attacked by what's known as lunar pith, and which is essentially that. So interestingly, that this makes use of the Dragon Mech setting. There's no inference necessarily to draw from that use of the setting. Perhaps it might well be that Goodman Games is thinking of bringing the Dragon Mech setting back, and doing so for Dungeon Crawl Classics. That would make an actual quite a lot of sense, because Dragon Mech came out 2004, so next year, you never know. 20th anniversary would entirely make sense. But you don't need the Dragon Mech setting to run this scenario at all. It's sort of like, if you know about it, it's a nice kind of, bit of an Easter egg, as it were. But yeah, so that's the Dungeon Crawl Classics Adventure Pack DCC date 2023. Both solid scenarios. I actually prefer the Rift of Seeping Night to Grave of the Gearwright. This is a much more interesting dungeon, much more thoughtful, lots of puzzles to work out, and I think it's going to be much more challenging for the player characters. But nevertheless, two good adventures. If you've got a venue where you can find this, definitely worth getting. In the meantime, thanks for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you enjoyed this, then please do click on the on the like button down below. And if you want to see me out here with a package containing a book or game, or in this case a release for Dungeon Crawl Classics DCC Day 2023, which I'll unbox and talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Penultimately, you will find a link to a review of these both scenarios down below, and of course I will be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.